You know that feeling. Someone hurts you. The room waits. You say, "I'm fine." But you mean, "Please leave me alone." That silence is loud. It's full. It carries weight. And it's not what people usually think it is. If you are the kind of person who goes quiet when hurt, this is for you. If you love someone who disappears into silence after pain, this is for you too. You are not cold. You are not weak. You are doing something meaningful inside that stillness. There is a common myth. People assume silence is a decision, that you sat down, weighed options, and chose to shut others out, like it was a tactic, like you wanted to be distant. That rarely reflects the truth. What actually happens is biological. Your nervous system reacts first. When pain or threat arrives, your body chooses a strategy. Fight, flight, freeze. The freeze response is not failure. It is protection. Trauma researcher Dr. Peter Levine has spent decades exploring this. He shows how the body can literally press the brakes under threat. Heart rate, breathing, and the ability to produce words can all change in an instant. Language is fragile in those moments. The parts of the brain that craft speech and put feelings into words often quiet down when emotion floods in. Your mouth can feel foreign. The sentences you want to say hang behind a wall. That emptiness in your throat is not stubbornness. It is your brain prioritizing safety over expression. This response has history. No one is born preferring silence. Babies cry. Toddlers scream. They have no filter. Somewhere along the way you learned otherwise. Early experience teaches the nervous system what is safe and what is dangerous. If you showed vulnerability and were dismissed, laughed at, punished, or ignored, your brain took note. Attachment theory, first described by John Bowlby, explains how early relationships shape our models of safety. If a caregiver treated your pain like a nuisance, silence became a useful tool. It kept you safe. It kept you connected in a different way. It was adaptive. So silence became a strategy. Not because you stopped feeling, because feeling out loud carried cost. So you adapted. You learned restraint. You learned to hold your truth until you could survive it. Inside that quiet, most people assume nothing is happening. That assumption is wrong. Silence can be busy, very busy. Research on people who withdraw shows intense internal work. Memory retrieval, self-reflection, future simulation, mental rehearsal. You go over details. You test consequences. You ask 100 small questions in a short time. Did I contribute to this? Have I felt it before? What do I actually want to say? What will happen if I say it now? Your brain runs these checks fast, not to avoid the issue, to avoid causing more harm, to avoid saying something untrue, to avoid a reaction that would cost the relationship. There is another idea that helps explain this. It is called the window of tolerance. It is the emotional zone where we can think clearly and relate calmly. When we are inside that window, conversation is possible. Outside it, everything distorts. When you are flooded or too numb, words fail. You wait. You come back when you are capable of saying what you mean. Waiting is not avoidance. It is preparation. Most people who go quiet are stress testing potential outcomes. They are conserving the relationship. They hold back because they care enough not to burn the bridge with words that were not ready. This can look paradoxical. You are protecting others by holding yourself in. You are preventing an argument by not feeding the fire. You are choosing long-term repair over short-term release. That makes you careful. That makes your words rare and valuable. And rare they are. Because you do not speak until you have turned things over. You have checked your motives. You have weighed fairness. You have imagined the future consequences. When you finally talk, your words are seldom scattershot. They are precise. They are considered. They come with depth. In a culture that values speed and volume, that quiet will be misunderstood. People interpret silence as distance or disinterest. They push. They demand immediate answers. They treat your pacing as rejection. The pressure to speak can feel like an accusation that your process is invalid. That is painful. What helps is different. What helps is patience without pressure. What helps is someone who can sit in the discomfort of your silence and trust you will return. Not someone who fixes the silence with questions and accusations. Someone who offers presence and safety and time. That is a hard request to make. It feels odd to ask people to wait, but you can practice simple signals. A short sentence can change everything. I need time to process. I'll come back to this in an hour. It is a boundary. It is a promise. It gives your nervous system permission to settle. If you are on the receiving end of someone else's silence, you can do the same. Calmly state your need without pressuring. I care about you. I'm here when you're ready. Then be patient. Trust their process. Do not make their stillness about you. That distinction matters. There are patterns behind silence worth naming. One is fear of escalation. If you have experienced someone weaponizing your words before, restraint makes sense. Another is fear of being dismissed. If your pain was minimized, silence protects your dignity. A third is fear of losing control. When emotions run high, you need to make choices rather than react. All of these are survival skills. They are not moral failings. They are the nervous system at work. They are the child inside you taking care of you now. Understanding this changes how you relate to yourself. It allows compassion. It reduces shame. Shame says there is something wrong with your pattern. Compassion says your pattern served a purpose. It got you through. It is time to choose whether it still serves you. Healing does not mean forcing yourself to be loud. It means making silence optional. It means building safety so that vulnerability becomes a choice rather than a reflex. That can look like therapy that focuses on both body and story. Somatic work, for example, helps the body release old patterns. Attachment-focused therapy helps rewrite relational expectations. Small experiments in safe relationships teach the nervous system a new grammar for needs. You do not have to go through that alone. You can make tiny changes. Practice naming the need for space. Use a consistent time frame. Offer a return plan. I need until tomorrow evening. Can we revisit this then? Predictable safety helps the other person. It downgrades their fear of abandonment. There will be people who cannot accept this. They will convert your silence into fault. They will demand immediacy as proof of caring. You will learn to measure who is willing to hold you and who is not. That choice will be a form of self-protection too. There is one more truth that might surprise you. The silence often contains a clarity others do not see. Inside it, you synthesize your truth. You decide what matters. You curate what needs to be said. That leads to conversations that land differently. They are not performative. They are not reactive. They are conclusions, not explosions. So what does this mean in practice? A few clear moves. If you go quiet, give yourself permission to say you need time. Short, clear, honest. If you wait, prepare how you'll return. Think about what you want to communicate and the outcome you hope for. If you are with someone who is silent, offer presence. Do not pressure. Validate the need for space. If you are trying to change, seek small experiments. Start with people who have shown consistent care. Build new memories of safety. These steps are simple. They are not easy. They require practice. They require people who can sit with discomfort. But they work. Remember this. Your silence is not avoidance by default. It is often protection. It is a mechanism that kept you safe once. It can keep you safe now. And it can become a choice rather than a survival reflex. There is dignity in waiting. There is courage in restraint. There is integrity in speaking when you can speak clearly. That integrity is rare and precious. Be patient with yourself. You are learning a new language for feelings. You are learning how to let others into a process that used to be private. That is healing. It is not a correction of a flaw. It is growth. If hearing this felt like someone finally named what you've been carrying, hold that recognition close. Let it soften your shame. Let it guide how you ask for care. Let it help you choose who deserves both your silence and your words. You do not have to rush to fix everything. You do not have to explain your quiet to those who are unwilling to hear. But you can learn to translate your needs into a few clear actions. That will change how your relationships handle pain. When you speak again, it will count. Your words will land because you made them meaningful. You will not be choosing silence out of fear. You will be choosing it out of care. That is not coldness. That is thoughtfulness. That is emotional integrity. Be gentle with your process. Be curious about your history. Be proud of the care you learned to give yourself in survival. And when you are ready, let someone who has learned to sit with you hear the silence and the truth that waits inside it.